Everyone seems to remember Team 7 as Kaguya, as chaos and power-ups, especially DMS Kakashi surging up multiple tiers in power, as well as the dimension hopping, but nobody realizes it's actually a high-stakes remake of the glorified Bell Test. The very same lesson that Kakashi drilled into them at the start, where teamwork over ego was something he was trying to teach them, and it becomes the only reason that humanity survived the end of the Kaguya fight. What looked like a messy final boss battle is secretly one of the most genius narrative callbacks in the entire series, and one that I don't think enough Naruto fans have truly come to realize. And once you see it, you can't unsee how Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura finally passed the one test that they failed originally. And if you're thinking, what is blood waffling about? Grab those ramen bowls, because your OBC, your original Boruto chief, is going to dust off the Naruto manga volumes, take a break from the Boruto content, and I'm going to help reshape the way that you view a fight that thematically is one of Masashi Kishimoto's best written fights. The reason why Team 7 versus Kaguya as a fight works a lot better than people give credit for is not just because it's a final battle. Instead, it is a test. More specifically, it's the same test that started the entire story. Back in Volume 1, Kakashi's Bell Test, it wasn't about strength. It wasn't about who could land the best hit. It wasn't even about who showed the most talent. It was about one thing. Could they work together? Were they a team or not? And the answer back then, it was absolutely not. Naruto rushed in recklessly, completely blowing the element of surprise with his shadow clones. Kakashi now had a rough idea what Naruto could do. Sasuke attacked alone, relying on his own talent, trying to outplay Kakashi himself. Showed a lot of skill in having done so. Caught Kakashi off guard by using a change in chakra nature, which is not expected of fresh Ganin. Sakura confronted Kakashi solo and immediately got caught in a genjutsu. 3 fighters, 3 separate battles. Absolutely zero teamwork. And the craziest part, you could argue they could have succeeded. Kakashi was holding back enough where if they would have coordinated slightly, they would have had a real shot at taking those belts. But they didn't. They didn't understand the assignment. It wasn't until Kakashi gave them a second chance that they got it. But as we would see, yeah, they did grow in teamwork a little bit, but they eventually began to regress as the story went on, especially once the Orochimaru stuff came into play. Now, fast forward all the way to Volume 71. The battlefield, it is different. The stakes there are completely apocalyptic. The enemy is a literal god, but the structure is the exact same when you look at it. Kaguya isn't just the final boss, she is also the bell from the Bell Test symbolically. Instead of grabbing the bells off Kakashi's waist, Naruto and Sasuke now have to touch Kaguya at the same time using these sun and moon seals that were granted to them by Hagoromo. That's the condition, that's the test. And just like before, they fail it at first. When Kaguya first appears, the dynamic duo, they immediately mirror the Bell Test in a subtle but very important way when you read the story closely. Kaguya immediately ignores Sakura and Kakashi. She's not even worried about them. They just are somebody that she walks past. Just like how Sasuke used to ignore Naruto and Sakura. Just like how the team once failed to see value in each other. And then Naruto and Sasuke, despite all their growth, they fell into the same trap they did against Kakashi. They tried to fight her one-on-one. Naruto charged forward with a truth-seeking orb, and he got blown back immediately. Sasuke pulled out a perfect Susanoo. Kaguya wiped it out a couple times in the story without trying. 2 geniuses, 2 powers, 2 demigods, still fighting alone, still failing the test. But here's where a key difference begins to emerge when you read it closely. Naruto himself, due to everything he's been throughout the 70 volumes in the manga leading up to this moment, Naruto's changed, not just in power, but also in mindset, because Naruto understands something very important that he understood to a degree back then, but he didn't truly get it, but he gets it now. Teamwork isn't just about following a plan and everybody playing their part. Teamwork in this instance can't just be him and Sasuke. It's about everyone. That's why throughout the fight, Naruto was continuously saving people, not just Sasuke at times, but also Kakashi, Sakura, and Obito, because Naruto was the one who fully internalized Kakashi's lesson. He understood, I don't know if I can use them, but at some point they may come in handy, and if for no other reason, he's not going to let his comrades die. And that's where the fight truly began to shift. In that lava dimension, you can see the transition happen quite literally in real time. At first, it's still the same pattern. Naruto attacks, then Sasuke attacks, one after another, no real coordination, until Naruto finally breaks through to Sasuke. He says, hey man, I got a plan, it can work. And when that happens, they begin to start changing everything. They begin combining attacks. Amaterasu was used as bait. It was also used to obscure Kaguya's field of vision. Kaguya quickly absorbed it, and that created the opening for Naruto to use his reverse harem sexy jutsu, one of the most ridiculous yet effective distractions in the entire series. And somewhere trapped in the infinite Tsukiyomi, Konohamaru is going, this dude stole my entire flow, because Konohamaru is the one that did that reverse harem sexy jutsu in the manga first. Anime never showed you that. So for the first time, they almost succeeded. They were almost able to steal Kaguya, but that wasn't enough. And it's because the story's saying that's great teamwork by you guys, but there are other people that are a part of Team 7 that you're not utilizing. And it's because they missed that point. They missed that something was the rest of Team 7. This fight was never meant to just be won by Naruto and Sasuke, even though in their heads, that's how they initially treated it. And that's exactly why when you see Kaguya, she separates Sasuke from the group. On the surface level, it looks like a tactical move. And if you only say that, that is a surface level comprehension. I'm not holding my tongue on it. That is surface level. I don't say that to be disparaging, but I say that to say, look at it from a writing perspective. Why did Kishimoto do it? So narratively, it was a forced lesson, because Sasuke still had not fully accepted what Naruto truly understood. Sasuke, as far back as volume 70, was still undervaluing the others. Think about it. Back during the Bell Test in volume 1, he saw Naruto and Sakura as inferior. Didn't even want to work with them. In volume 70, when the infinite Tsukiyomi is used, think about how he went off on Sakura and Kakashi, basically calling them useless. It's different versions of Sasuke. One that is 12 years old, one that is 17 years old, but it has the same flaw. And now the story, it has forced Sasuke to confront it, because he cannot get out of that desert dimension on his own. Instead, Sakura and Obito have to work together using teamwork to rescue Sasuke. Let that sink in. People that Sasuke never fully respected. Obito he wanted to kill earlier, and when Kakashi was dragging around Obito's corpse, Sasuke would have let it burn if it was up to him. He wouldn't have saved him the way that Naruto did. And now the lesson and the reason that he gets back to the fight, it's all hitting him. That's not just plot convenience. That is a narrative correction. That is something I don't think gets appreciated enough. It was the story forcing Sasuke to rely on others, to acknowledge their value, to finally learn the lesson that he ignored as a kid. But as we see when it gets to the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, Sasuke had to literally get beat over the head before he was able to break off that stubborn streak. But I digress. One of Obito's deepest roles is something that really elevates this entire arc. And when I say arc, I mean the character arc for Team 7. The whole theme of volume 71 of the manga is all about teamwork. So when Obito dies, after saving Kakashi and saving Naruto and Sasuke as well, his chakra didn't just disappear. Instead, it rises up from the ashes of his body and it goes into Kakashi's eye, gives him a temporary power-up, and suddenly Kakashi, the mentor who started this entire journey for Team 7 and was previously power creeped out of relevancy in this fight, is now back in the fight with a dual Mangekyo Sharingan, and it has been amplified by 6 Paths Chakra. It has made it extremely powerful, and the man who once tested Team 7 is now fighting alongside them. And this is where everything should click into place for you, because now all 4 members of the original Team 7, they're contributing. Kakashi takes lead with that Kamui Shuriken and Lightning Blade combo. Naruto and Sasuke, they're preparing the sealing jutsu after some trickery takes place. And Sakura, who was once dismissed as the weakest of the group, somebody that Sasuke had earlier just dismissed, she delivers one of the most crucial blows in the entire fight itself. Kaguya tried to escape upwards to avoid being sealed. She thought that she was safe, but Kakashi uses Kamui to reposition Sakura directly above Kaguya, and Sakura comes crashing down with a punch so hard it snaps Kaguya's horn, and it sends her plummeting back down, hits so hard on the head that it bruises the opposite side of her cheek, and it sends Kaguya right into Naruto and Sasuke, right into the seal. And in that moment, the figurative bell has been captured. Not literally, again, symbolically. Because once again, Team 7 faced an opponent that they couldn't overpower. Somebody that was leagues above them. And once again, the only way to win was to use teamwork. Just as Kakashi was leagues above Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura in Volume 1, Kaguya was leagues above them in Volume 71. That's why that Kakashi line should hit you so hard when Kakashi smiles and Kakashi says, "I love you guys." Because this isn't just pride in their strength, it's pride in their growth. They finally understood the lesson. They finally passed the test. And even Kakashi's positioning reflects this. Look at where he is in the story at this point. Look at where he literally is. He's not the one delivering the final blow. He's falling back. He's watching. He's guiding, just like a mentor should, because the story's not about him anymore. Instead, it's about Team 7. And really and truly, when you look at Kakashi's story arc, especially from volumes 28 to volume 72, Kakashi, for the entire second part of the story, was gradually moving backwards. Now it's come full circle. He's now been able to fall to the background completely. And that's why there's nobody else there. That's why there's no Minato, no Konoha 11, no outside help. Notice how in volume 70, Naruto dropped Minato's kunai before the fight even began. And since the Sage of Six Paths literally gives Naruto and Sasuke all of his chakra, that's why he tells the Kage, "I can't teleport you to Kaguya," because he literally has 0 chakra left. Not until he can take back the seals when Kaguya is defeated. This is Masashi Kishimoto intentionally removing the possibility of reinforcement, because this moment, it belongs to Team 7, the original Team 7. That's why Sai is not there. Everything about this fight, it is intentional, it is meticulous. Everything ties back to where the story began, and everything builds towards what comes next, because right after this, Naruto and Sasuke fight each other. So when people say this Kaguya fight is messy, or that it's random, that it has no real payoff, that it's disconnected from the story, they're missing what's right in front of them. That this wasn't just a final boss fight, this was the final exam, and Team 7, they finally passed. However, the Team 7 story itself isn't over. The Naruto versus Sasuke battle still had to happen, and that, my friends, is another video in of itself that we'll be touching on later, because that battle too has a beauty to it that if you're a hardcore Naruto fan, you can appreciate the manga version of this fight in ways that you might not have before, especially if you're only familiar with the anime version, which is different to multiple degrees. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking on the left to check out more Naruto Explained videos, or clicking on the right to check out this Naruto Explained video that YouTube says is best for you to watch.